we're here to go over the over-unders.
Yes. According to DraftKings Sportsbook, I have it right in front of me here. We'll start from the bottom and go to the top here. So we're going to start with the top here. Kansas City Chiefs, over-under, 11.5. Now, when I do these, I want you to give me the over and why. Over, under, or flat, right around there.
I'm gonna go with the over. The reason why is we finally won't have Kadarius Toney on this team. Thank God they actually went out there and signed Hollywood Brown. I know we got a little bit worse on defense, but the Chiefs are great at drafting. It's probably gonna be the last hurrah for Travis Kelce. Probably wants that 4 Super Bowls that Gronkowski was able to get with Tom Brady, and then Andy Reid is always contemplating retirement. So I think this will be another good year for the Kansas City Chiefs. Also, have some teams in your division in rebuild. So I think over is a good one for that. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think their worst season was last year. They went 11-6. So naturally, I think they get better at receiver. Their defense, we trust the draft process. We saw when they had to replace some key players like Honey Badger and how they filled him in. So I think that with their ability to draft, with them being the Chiefs, with them getting better at the receiver core, I think that they're going to definitely win over 11.
Yeah, fun fact, we actually picked them to go 11-6 last year, and everyone thought we were crazy, but
Here we are now. The documents being unveiled. Number 2, we got the Ravens at 11.5 as well. Over under.
I'm going to go under. I think like 10 to 11 wins is going to be good for the Ravens. I don't see them having the dominating year they did last year. I think Derrick Henry will make them a better overall team, but the Steelers, they're coming. They signed Patrick Queen off of you. The Bengals are coming. The Browns are still coming. So I think it's really tough to have back-to-back incredible years in the North.
Yeah. And then the only other team with that same amount of win shares here, we have the Niners at 11.5.
Book them. Book it.
Over. I agree. Bengals at 10.5.
I mean, depends on their September. They have trouble, figuring out the first, 6 games. So can we, show up for the first part of the season? If they do, I'll take the over. But I think right at 10.5, I would just take the money where it is.
Yeah, I would push there because I think that also it depends on the health of Joe Burrow. We had that one full healthy season and we saw them go, I want to say 12-5, but the health of him matters. They did also take a step back running back wise. They have Zach Moss now. They're probably going to draft one. There are some missing pieces there, so I have them there. This one will be interesting here. Bills at 10.5.
Ooh. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what to expect from the Bills next year. At this point, I'm going to take the under because I see them right at 10 wins. I think 10-7 is respectable, especially because you have Josh Allen. Stephon Diggs is going to be another year older. You don't have Gabe Davis, but you still have enough weapons to win 10 games with Josh Allen's greatness there. And I'm not the biggest fan of Josh Allen, but you did lose your entire defense. So you can't draft a replacement for Poyer, Tre'Davious White, and all the other linebackers you cut.
Yeah, I'm going to push on here. I think that 10 or 11 wins is what I would expect for them. We also saw how badly they started last year, starting off 6-6, and it really wasn't until that massive win streak that they saw at the end of the season and the Dolphins collapsing for them to get to that division win. So I think 10, 11 wins. I think Vegas nailed it right there.
Yeah, I think that's good. We'll see how their draft is.
Yeah. And then staying in the division, the Dolphins are also at 10.5.
I'm going to take the over. They signed an entire defense this offseason, so you lose your biggest piece in Christian Wilkins, but what that does is it opened up their purchasing power to fill in all the little holes on their defense. Then you're going to get Bradley Chubb back. You're going to get Melvin Ingram back at the linebacker position on defense, and you still have Jalen Ramsey on that team. So overall, you met with Odell Beckham Jr. today, and you have a draft to go ahead and fix some of those other holes at defensive tackle. So I'm actually going to take the over. I think they're going to be right between 11 and 13 wins again.
Okay. And then as we pivot to the NFC, we have the Eagles at 10.5.
That's fine. You got Saquon this year. You should be better than you were last year. And Nick Sirianni knows what it feels like to have the knives pushed right up to his throat if he doesn't succeed in Philadelphia. I mean, the dogs were out for the Philadelphia Eagles last year, and especially for Nick Sirianni, people are like, well, if Belichick's available, let's fire Nick Sirianni or hire Mike Vrabel. So Sirianni is probably more motivated than ever to come back. And then same with Jalen Hurts. That was disappointing last year. And I think he was very probably injured most of the year as well. So he'll be healthy.
Yeah, I definitely take the over here. I think that they're the best team in that division. You have the Giants who are rebuilding, the Commanders that are rebuilding, and the Cowboys who will go over next that are in disarray. So
Yeah.
I think a lock for the over there. I think they're going to win 12 to 13 games. And then we stay in that division as well, and we go to the Cowboys at 10.5. And if you're a fan of the show, I think you know where this is going.
Yeah, so I have a Jimmy Kimmel joke for you. Um, the Dallas Cowboys. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Good old Cowboys. I'm going to take the under
Yeah.
because let's recap what they did in free agency. So the Cowboys in free agency, this is what they did. Nothing.
Oh,
They did
this is your
absolutely
lawyer.
nothing.
Oh, this is your
No,
lawyer.
no, no. We're
calling?
still here. We're still here. No,
Yeah.
they did absolutely nothing in free
Yeah.
agency, even though the fact that they have to sign all these different players. They had to make some
Yeah.
big cuts. They lost Tyron Smith as well, so their offensive line got worse. And I don't know, they lost Dan Quinn, who was a big locker room piece for them. So I just think that there's tension in Dallas, and I just think that they're on the verge of collapse.
Yeah.
And when I feel it because we notice when there's cracks in the armor. We do have the documents. It's well documented if you're a fan of the show.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys are expected to have a disappointing season next year.
Also, why are all their marquee free agents like, I'm all set? I mean, Tony Pollard, go get your money. And the Tennessee Titans did what the Patriots should have done and overpaid for him and for Calvin Ridley. And then after that, Stephon Gilmore is like, I'm all set, even though Trayvon Diggs had an injury issue last year, even though the secondary is your weakness, you don't want to bring him back even. And then the only call from a lawyer you got was not anyone's agent. It was from a lawyer representing a woman that wanted to sue Dak Prescott. So that's the only lawyer that called you this offseason. Not a
Yeah.
good sign.
Yeah, no, Cowboys, I feel comfortable with the under. And then we go to Atlanta. They are also 10.5 wins over under.
Are they?
They are.
Interesting. I'm gonna push on that because Atlanta. I'm very worried about Kirk Cousins coming back off an Achilles injury. It's a very tough injury to come back from, especially in your 30s. And let's be honest, Kirk Cousins isn't the most athletic guy in the world. So I'm gonna stay right at 10.5. I think that's safe enough where you could win 10, could win 11, but to win that division, you need to win 9.
Yeah, I think that 10 is perfect for them. So I wouldn't bet that. I would push. And then we go to the NFC North. The Packers are at 10.5.
Um, I'll go over.
I will too.
I'll go over. I think Josh Jacobs and that offense, I mean, we saw how electrifying they were at the end of last year. Matt LaFleur finally found his groove because I feel like Matt LaFleur was sure of himself, but just getting that confidence in the media, having that trust, now everyone's like, oh, this guy's an offensive genius. It wasn't just Aaron Rodgers. And then now Jordan Love had that full experience, and you get to know what it was like to blow a team out in the playoffs when you're literally the bottom seed in the playoffs there. They literally invented a playoff spot a few years ago so you could eventually beat the Cowboys because Roger Goodell saw the future and how awesome this would be.
He
And
also
then
has the documents.
Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, both of your rookie tight ends, Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave, those guys are all going to be better next year. It's the youngest team in the league.
Yeah, I like the over there too. I think 10 to 11 wins is what you can expect. But are they a team that I would be surprised if they won 12? Absolutely not. This team is young and they're thriving. But in that same division, they have the Lions, who are 10.5 wins over under.
Wow. I think over for both of them, right? I mean, the Lions, they still went out there. They got better. They've been one of the best teams at drafting in the league. Jameson Williams going to be the first year he plays a full season for them. And I think, honestly, this division could almost be like what the AFC North was last year, because if the Vikings draft someone like a JJ McCarthy, or they actually get a legitimate quarterback in the draft and trade up, you have some pretty nice weapons still on that team. You still have Jordan Addison, still have Justin Jefferson, and you still have Aaron Jones. So this could be a really good division.
Yeah, I think this division is going to be really competitive. And then, excuse me.
Amen.
Amen. The Jets at 9.5.
Something tells me under. I can't believe in the Jets. I mean, here's a joke. The Jets.
Yes. I'm going to push here because I don't want to. There's a couple of rules I've learned in the gambling space. Certain teams will always break your heart. whether in real life or in the gambling world. And the Jets, they hate humanity. They
Yeah.
really do. They are the George Soros of the NFL. And the Jets, don't trust them ever. So I have them. I'm not even going to look at this bet. I'm going to push.
Yeah.
What do I think they can do? I think they can win 9 games, but they can also win 6 games.
Also, the domain for Kennedy Rogers 2024 has been officially bought. So Aaron Rodgers may be the vice president.
Yes.
And you all are complaining, oh, I hate Joe Biden. I hate Donald Trump. They're both old. I wish we had an alternative. Well, here's your opportunity. Not endorsing anybody, but if you're going to complain, we finally have a legitimate third party, and it could be represented also by Aaron Rodgers.
By Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron
Hall
Rodgers.
of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Welcome to 2024.
Ayahuasca for everyone.
Yes. And then same over under, but different team with different expectations. The Texans at 9.5. This is the most obvious one as far as I'm concerned.
So can I bet on this now?
You should.
Today?
9.5. This reminds me of exactly of last year when we were going over this last year and we said the Lions at 9.5. This is a lock. They got Danielle Hunter. They got Joe Mixon. Their team, CJ Stroud, 1 year older. This seems too obvious. This seems like free money.
Yeah. No, it's definitely free money, but like, what are you doing? Why would you put them at 9.5 wins or 8.5, right?
9.5.
9.5 wins. Like, they won 9 games last
They
year.
won 10 last year.
They won 9 games. They were 9-8 and made the playoffs, I believe.
I'll double check, but
Yeah,
I think they
I
won
believe
10.
they were 9-8 last year, but fact check me on that. But that was the worst that they were going to be. CJ Stroud was a rookie.
They
You
were
had a
10-7.
rookie. They were 10-7 last year. Okay, so even better than I thought. So they're at least going to win 11 to 12 games, especially when you have the Titans figuring it out, the Jaguars reeling, and then you sign someone who's in the Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and you also signed an entire defense around him. Now you're just going to be drafting for offense, going out there and getting weapons. Like, what are we doing? Are you trying to lose money, DraftKings? Because I'm more than happy to take it from you, and so should you at home.
Yeah, this is a lock. This is the biggest lock of all. And then the Bears at 8.5.
Oh, leave me out of this.
Yeah.
Leave me out of this.
We made fun
Cole
of the Jets.
Kmet is worth like 6 wins at the tight end position, which is historically great if you really think about it. 6'5" out of Notre Dame, 260 pounds, a luxury. One of the most underrated tight ends in the league. We literally talked about that, and then a few weeks to months to years later, then there started being articles written about it. But we started the Cole Kmet gravy train, so I give him 6 wins, and then we'll see if Caleb Williams is a bust or not. And
We'll
we're
see.
about to find out.
We're about to find out. I'm not going to touch that either. Jets and Bears, avoid. Browns at 8.5.
I'll go over because you did what you did with Joe Flacco last year. Imagine Kevin Stefanski with Jameis Winston. My God, like Flacco's numbers last year, he was still on pace for like 20 picks if he played an entire season. It was like a Jameis Winston-esque. So Stefanski was like, okay, why don't I go out there and get the black Joe Flacco instead?
Yes. Yeah, no, I think I'm here for it. Jameis Winston on pace for 55 touchdowns and 40 picks.
And I'm basing this pick not off of Deshaun Watson playing. I'm basing this off of, I think they could legitimately win more than 8.5 games with Jameis Winston because of Kevin Stefanski.
I agree. I think 9 and 8. As you know, we were part of the Dog Pound, so this is a Dog Pound podcast. Bucks at 8.5.
Bucks at 8.5. Ooh, I don't know. My gut reaction tells me under for some reason. I think you lost too much on defense. You were able to retain. I
Baker
think
and Mike.
Yeah, it was Baker and then Levante David, but Shaq Barrett is gone. Devin White is gone. You traded one of the quarters out of your secondary. Why are we tagging Antoine Winfield Jr. when he was all pro last year? Like, lock this guy up to a long-term deal. What are we doing in Tampa? I don't like the vibes right now.
Yeah, plus I think that one of those teams, you see it every year, scrappy team takes a step back the next year. I see that coming.
Yeah.
Chargers at 8.5.
Give me the over. Come on, Harbaugh. Go out there, get Malik Neighbors. You got your defense there. You got rid of all the toxicity in that locker room. You're like, you're old, you're overpaid, and you're old. See you later. I kind of like that.
I'm going to push. I think they're going to win like 8 games.
Okay. I think I could see 9.
I can
could
see 9
to 10.
I can see 9, but I can also see 8, and it's not enough for me to bet my money. So I will push and give them an 8.
Okay.
Colts at 8.5.
Over what? The Colts at 8.5. Like, come on now. We
Yeah.
have Joey Flacco at backup. He's there to also mentor Anthony Richardson there. We re-signed Michael Pittman. We got Jonathan Taylor locked up now to a long-term deal. We got Shane Steichen, who Joe Flacco was singing his praises on the Pat McAfee podcast. He was clearly behind Philadelphia. It's going to be a great rivalry between the Colts and the Texans. It's going to be like Steelers Ravens of this division for the next few years, where we have not Peyton Manning. We have Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud there. It's going to be electric. I'm
Yeah.
excited for the Colts.
Yeah, me too.
And they may go get Brock Bowers, so we'll see.
They might get Brock Bowers. In that same division, the Jags are also at 8.5.
Boo! You don't have fans. You don't have fans who even want to root for you or see you play when every team in your division is making a game-changing move and you're like, wow, that's really great. You're like, you know what we need? A coin flip at wide receiver for whether or not he's going to catch the ball or not. Really stellar stuff, Jaguars. Give yourselves a pat on the back for that.
Win total or fan total? You decide in the comments below.
Win total or fan total? Because you have none.
Rams at 8.5.
Without Aaron Donald, that is a tough proposition, but I'll go over. Puka Nacua is a dog. We got Kyron Williams. Maybe we'll go out there, get another running back. Still got Cooper Kupp there. Maybe Matty Stafford's last hurrah in LA. So I think I liked what I saw on offense from them last year, and they're a fun team to watch. So I'll go over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over too. Saints at 7.5.
Under. I mean, can we get another hurricane to fix this franchise?
Oh my god. Yeah, honestly, 7.5. That seems kind of high. This team sucks. They got rid of 1 million dudes. Get me out of here. I think their 7-10 is their ceiling. They suck. Get them out of here.
We didn't build a storm wall, but we have Taysom Hill. What's the problem?
And then we got the Seahawks at 7.5.
The Seahawks at 7.5. Give me the over. Seahawks are talented. They're out here making moves. They still have DK Metcalf on this team. Geno Smith is still a competent quarterback in this league. I think 7.5 is kind of rude, actually.
Yeah, I think I'll take the over. I think they win 8 games.
8
Again.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. Steelers at 7.5. Do they not know about the almighty Mike Tomlin?
Like, why do we have... Okay, so you have the Texans at 9.5. Easy dub there. But you know one thing is true. The only thing Mike Tomlin cares about is keeping the reputation for not having a losing record. And you think you're going to predict the Steelers to go under now that they have Justin Fields and Russell Wilson? They went out there and got Patrick Queen? No way.
No, I think 9-8. 9-8. That's what I expect to see.
9-8 every year.
So
Let's
I
go.
think that's a lock.
Never had a losing season.
Commanders at 7.5.
Over.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely. They're going to get the guy at quarterback. They're going to be better. We have now, legitimate coaching in the building when you only had Eric Bieniemy last year. The only thing that worries me is if their free agent signings don't pan out, they're going to be the NFL's nursing home over the next couple of years. But I think they'll be good. Drake May.
See, I think 6 to 7 wins is what I see for them. I think that between the Eagles and even how bad I think the Cowboys could be, I still think they're going to be competitive. So them being third place, I think like 7 wins is appropriate.
They might have the best quarterback in the division next year, though.
It depends who they get, though.
It depends, but they might. I didn't say they will.
They could. I just think they have a lot of holes to fix. We'll see what happens. I think 6 to 7 wins. I'm gonna go under.
Okay.
Cardinals at 6.5.
Rude. Absolutely rude. We got Kyler back. We're going to go out there and get Marvin Harrison Jr. if the Patriots don't mess it all up. But we're going to see Kyler potentially with the next transcendent talent on offense. And then we also have Murpherman Practical Jokers coaching up the defense. I think the Cardinals have a little bit of resurgence for the first half of the season.
Yeah. Maserati Marv potentially in Arizona. That'd be pretty cool. I think that the win total is pretty accurate. I'm going to keep it pushed there. I think 6 to 7 wins is appropriate.
6 to 7. Okay.
Unlike this next team here, enemy of the show, you already know where this is going.
Enemy of the show.
New York Giants, or should I say New York Jones, 6.5 Daniel Jones. Well, Daniel Jones is on your team, so I think this will be an easy under.
Yeah, I mean, the documents state that until Daniel Jones is off the roster, there will be no positivity. There will be no winning. There's not going to be any green pastures in New York. It's just going to be pain and suffering. You had the choice between a Dodge Charger and a PT Cruiser, and you chose a PT Cruiser.
The only highlights on this team is Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Bobby Okereke. The Raiders at 6.5 here. Over under 6.5 for the Oakland Las Vegas Raiders.
Over. We got Anton Pierce. Let's go.
Yeah. They also got Christian Wilkins, and they still have Devontae. If they can get the quarterback right.
Yeah. Gardner Minshew could win you over 7 games next year on his own.
Yeah. Especially with the other team we'll go over next.
Yeah.
The Broncos at 5.5.
I don't care, to be honest. But under. Because you're paying $80 million to someone who's not on your team.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, let's see. It's been a while since I watched, like, The Godfather and Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember, like, towards the end, like, you started to see a lot of bloodbaths.
Yeah.
And, like, last year we saw that 70-20 embarrassment there, a lot of blood in the air. I think someone's about to get whacked. And I think that the Broncos 5-12, I see that in their future. Let me take the under.
Yeah, you don't even have Jerry Jeudy anymore.
Yeah.
Who's complaining about people who don't watch film, and that's why they don't think he's good. So, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, watch film, casual.
Watch film, casual. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, watch yourself. Vikings at 6.5.
Vikings at 6.5. I have to take the under. Someone in this division has to suck, right?
I think that, their quarterback, I don't know. I don't trust JJ McCarthy. I know that he's getting a lot of hype now, but if you look in years past, think of some other guys who got a lot of hype. Zach Wilson, where did he come from? Midwest town. Was originally like a 2nd or 3rd round pick and then shot up the draft boards. Became 2nd overall. I don't know. JJ McCarthy, similar path. Daniel Jones out of Duke. Midwest town, shot up the draft board, got 6th overall.
Is Duke
Do I think? Don't worry about that part. But I think with JJ McCarthy, he worries me because he was a 2nd and 3rd round pick, and now all of a sudden he's going into the top 10. Some people saying the Commanders will take him at 2. I don't know.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a mistake. Mistakes can be made.
Oh.
And what do we know about the top 3 picks? One's a bust most of the time. One of them's a wild card, and one of them typically pans out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Usually go with the wild card. That's your best option. Go with the Anthony Richardson. Go with the Jaden Daniels. And, years past, other wild cards.
Yeah, other wild cards.
Yeah.
Titans at 5.5.
Over. For sure. This team,
I agree.
They might go 9-8.
I actually think the Titans are in business.
Yeah.
We talked about the Jags and how they're 8.5. I think it's more accurate to see the Titans at 8.5 right now, given the fact that they signed Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley. They went after L'Jarius Sneed. They got him for a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
And Will Levis, I know Will Levis isn't necessarily going to set the world on fire, but I think that Brian Callahan, OC for the Bengals, we saw how he assembled that Bengals offense.
Yeah.
I think that they have a lot more potential. I think they have a lot more upside. I think over is definitely locked.
Yeah, what's the thing they have that the Jaguars don't? Oh, yeah, fans.
And dog. 5.5. I can say the Titans definitely have more than 5.5 fans.
Definitely.
And then let's get over these last 2 teams. We're going to stay in the cold Northeast. Patriots at 4.5.
Under. They're scaring me. We're in New England right now. We are, Patriots, I guess sympathizers, if you would say that. But their fans are definitely the best to bully. But, like, you didn't want to overpay for everyone. You're complaining, like, well, no one wants to come here. Well, there is a tax that for sucking in the NFL. So if your NFL franchise sucks and you're in the cold and you're in Boston, Massachusetts, where all you have to do is Dunkin' Donuts, there's no nightlife in Boston. And then the taxes are ridiculous. Who would want to go there when you could go to Houston, when you could go to Miami, even somewhere like Nashville, Tennessee, or Las Vegas? But no, New England. But you have to overpay for people to be willing to come there. And then they'll be like, okay, you're going to give me $5 million extra dollars. That's fine. But no, will they do that? Absolutely not. And then you're just going to fade into mediocrity for the rest of time until you get lucky again with the last pick in the draft.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually curious. Over under, is it wins or is it IQ points for their fan base? I'm going to take the under here because Patriots fans, I've lived around Patriots fans for 25 years, and just like Buzz Lightyear, I see no signs of intelligence anywhere. After all these years, Patriots fans are easily the dumbest fans of all the NFL fans. They will say we should trade the 3rd round pick for God only knows what. Patriots fans are stupid.
Bro, we should trade the 3rd overall pick for 3 seconds.
There we go.
Over 3 years.
Patriots fans, if the Patriots front office listen to the Patriots fans, they'll never win another game in the NFL.
I always liked that Ryan Mallett. Let's see what he's up to.
Yeah. Now, the last team.
Oh.
Tepperville. The last team to talk about. Tepperville, Carolina Teppervilles. They're brave enough. 4.5 wins. Since when was their glass so full? Did we not witness the Panthers team of old? Yes, they got Deontay Johnson, Mr. 0 touchdowns himself. Yes, they lost Brian Burns. Yes, they lost Frankie Louvu. But yes, 4.5. Somehow, tell me how the math works.
Yeah.
They went 2-15 last year.
Uh-huh.
They lost 2 of their best defensive players.
Right.
They added a number 2 wide receiver, Deontay Johnson, who is on the decline.
A 3.
A 3 in most worlds, but for them, a number 1.
Yeah.
And yes, they bolstered their offensive line. I know the comments is going to say if I don't mention that, they're going to roast me. How does that compute? Now, I'm not the best mathematician here. 2 wins, loses 2 of their best players, adds a 3rd wide receiver, and bolsters their offensive line. Yeah. Where does the 3 wins come in?
Yeah, where do the 3 wins come in? Because also you hired the coach that was coaching the 14th best offense because no one wanted to go there. Frank Reich was like, this is awful. I don't want anyone to go through this or ruin their career. Benny Johnson and Bobby Slowick were sent emails from people concerned about their well-being if they even thought about going to the Panthers. And then the Panthers thought to themselves, you know what was a bright spot last year? Our defense. So let's even it up so we suck at offense and defense and get rid of 2 of our best defenders for a bag of chips when you could have had 3 first-round picks for Brian Burns last year. Yep. I'm like, what are we doing? And I know what David Tepper is doing with his keys. I know what he's doing with his hotel keys in the bathroom.
Let's just say it's not sugar.
It's not sugar.
It's not sugar. It's not cane. It's nothing.
It's not cane.
Whatever you do not snort it. It is not Fun Dip. It is not for children.
Yeah, and all it's doing is making him dumber. I know, like, even Pat McAfee tries to be positive, like, oh, well, these aggressive moves, like, show he wants to, like, win, right? And I'm like, no, how about it shows he's absolutely dumb and never should have made those moves to begin with. We sent him a document specifically saying, don't hire Frank Reich. Why would you do that? And then immediately he hires him. And then he opens up our document in the middle of the season. And he's like, oh, I never should have hired Frank Reich. And then he fires him. Well, maybe you should read the document before you actually make your decisions.
I would have to agree there. But unfortunately, David Tepper, enemy of the show, probably the arch enemy of the show.
Who is he? Whose enemy is he going to be? He's not threatening enough to be an enemy. Oh, sorry. You're so threatening with all that winning you're doing. Oh, wait, you're not.